Fill my heart with song and let me play amongst the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, please be true. I love you. Flying to let me play amongst the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all that I worship and all that I adore.
Good morning, everyone. Getting ready to get back on the trail. Good night's sleep here at this hostel in Delaware Water Gap. I guess the gentleman just bought this house last year and was refurbishing it. And I guess a lot of the people that were here last year, hikers and such, they just had to sleep on floors and so forth. But now he has queen beds in all the rooms. It's still being refurbished. But as you can see, it's really nice. Has a nice space, nice bed. It's all you really need when you're resting for the night. And whole bunch of them, I guess, up at the house, 3 or 4 rooms up there, 2 or 3 showers. I'm actually out in the garage, or I guess it's a garage, maybe like a barn, where there's going to be a small kitchen and then like an apartment type of thing with 2 different rooms. And the laundry's out here as well. I was the only one out here, so that's pretty cool. Had the whole place to myself. But we got some really good rest, super quiet in this area. And getting back on trail now, going to have some big milestones today. Crossing over into New Jersey out of Pennsylvania, and 1,300 mile marker is going to be coming today. A couple summits with some really good views from the way I understand it. It's going to be a real sunny day, about 85 degrees. So going to be a great day for hiking and sweating and getting some vitamin D. So what are we waiting for? Let's go do it. And Pennsylvania is in the bag. Hi guys, how you doing? You can go ahead and eat. I'm not going to touch you. Hey sweetie. There's one. There's two. And right here we got a third one. I'm not going to, it's okay. Don't be scared. That interstate sure was noisy. I can't get used to the car noises. And I had to walk along it, Interstate 80, for about a mile. Cars zipping by. Sometimes not even a foot or two, just a little tiny wire railing separating us. Crossing the Delaware River, which reminds me as I'm walking along this creek here, which now I'm going up away from, but I have this song in my head from a kid. We used to sing it where I grew up. I don't know if y'all will remember this, but the Delaware River. Here comes 410 floating down the Delaware, chewing on his underwear. Couldn't find another pair. 3 days later, eaten by a grizzly bear. Poor old grizzly bear. The Delaware River bringing up the memories. Funny thing is, about a week ago or so, when I was on my break, that song popped in my head. And Lane looked at me like I was crazy. I guess she didn't grow up with that song in the neighborhood she was from. But yeah, that was like a common song to be singing. That one and the Dandelion song. And kids weren't necessarily nice with their songs back then. Oh my goodness. Anyway, across the Delaware River into New Jersey. The Pennsylvania rocks are still here a little bit, but not too bad yet. I hear they go for like 20 miles or so still before it kind of evens out. And New Jersey's supposed to be really beautiful, so I can't wait to see the stuff that I see here today. But continuing on this beautiful trail. And oh yeah, it's quite hot already, quite early in the morning. Very humid and muggy. So this is going to be a sweating day. Faux show. All these beautiful fern plants all over the place in every which direction. It is so stinking beautiful. And you just know that there's bear out there. I'm just waiting for a little head to peek up that's down there eating in some of the thicker fern and brush. Just waiting for a little head to peek up and say, "Hey, Fortune." Little fact you may not know, there are more black bear in New Jersey than any other state on the Appalachian Trail per capita. Not total population, because some of those states are much, much, much bigger than New Jersey, but per capita, there's more black bear in New Jersey. I thought that was a pretty cool bit of information that I would have never guessed. I would think more like Tennessee or North Carolina would have the most, maybe even Georgia or Virginia. I just wouldn't have thought New Jersey. So maybe I'll get to see me some black bear here in the next couple days. All I know is it's gorgeous. It is hot today, but it is gorgeous. And I enjoy getting this sweat going. Only 20 miles up here on the trail today. It's only like 2,800 of elevation. So it's not, super lot of work today. So I shouldn't have to sweat too much, but just enough. Hopefully you don't want to sweat too much, like all day long, because then you can't drink enough water to keep yourself hydrated on those really hot days. So hopefully it won't be too bad. I know there's going to be some rocks involved, which makes each step a little more energy being used. But as of right now, it's going pretty good. A lot of rocks, but nothing too major. Nothing like some of the parts of Pennsylvania, or even Virginia for that matter. Virginia had some pretty good rocks you had to step over at times as well, which is, as you're stepping up, as you're stepping forward, that definitely makes you use more energy on each step and slows you down as well, which, makes you have to drink more water. Anyway, it's all one vicious cycle. All right, going to continue on. Going to be coming up to a pond here in a little bit, it looks like. And the first mountain summit of the day here, and not too much after that. So, and I totally missed it, but I'm at 1300.2 right now. So probably when I was talking, I just missed the marker. Usually it's made of stones or rocks or pine cones or something like that. I totally missed the marker for the 1,300 mile mark. So officially at the 1,300 mile mark now, and still over that on total miles. And it's going to keep going more because I keep going on side trails and summits, but only 900 more to go. So this is that time of the trail where it's like a countdown. 900, 800, 700, 600. Feels like getting in those single digit hundreds. So I digress. 1,300 miles of the Appalachian Trail on my Thru-Hike for osteoporosis is in the bag. Here the trail goes around Sunfish Pond, which looked more like a small lake or a big pond. Really nice flowers in some of these bushes here at the trail. Get little peek outs at the water. Really gorgeous. Trail is quite thin here. A little rocky, not too bad yet. I've seen some comments that it gets quite rocky up here a little bit into where it wraps around the pond, so we'll see. But right here is just really gorgeous the way it's a really narrow trail and these beautiful flowers like right here. Yeah. And over here some more. Just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. On a nice, beautiful day. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Just when you think the rocks are over, they're not. I mean, I didn't really think they were over because every part and every state has some rocks in it. Pennsylvania definitely has the highest amount and biggest, and I don't know what the word is I want, but pain in the butt. But I've also heard that this goes on for 20, 30 miles like this as well. The Pennsylvania style rocks. And it looks like it might just be all the way around this pond. Nothing bad, nothing treacherous, as of yet at least. No, not anything too bad as scrambling. You want to watch the rocks as you're stepping over though. You know, copperheads and rattlesnakes hiding down there, so you want to make sure that, you know, you're not stepping on any of them and getting them ticked off. There's a nice little section here. And if you've been following the videos, you know that I rolled my ankle about 4 times in one day. It was so weird. Just almost like a supernatural attack on my physical body. I know that probably doesn't make any sense, but the way it happened just doesn't happen with me. It's like I rolled it, and you know, I've said before, I don't know if I said it on the video, but I roll my ankle quite often. I have really strong ankles, but you get on these rocks, they slide, they roll on you, they move, and your ankle goes in some weird direction, which it should not do, which for the normal person would probably sprain them or, you know, break them, the bones, and it hasn't happened as of yet. But this day, my goodness, that first one was bad. I went over the tree, a blowdown, and it went over pretty fast, I'm not going to lie. And then I stepped with my left foot right into a pothole, and it turned left, but my body kept going forward. I think you could paint the picture from there. It hurt pretty darn good, and it hurt for about 10-15 seconds maybe, and then stopped hurting. It was so weird. And I thought, oh, okay, well, that's good. And then that same ankle 3 more times, probably in the next 15 or 20 minutes. And they were just on so small of things, just like leaning just right on a rock or whatnot. But for some reason, I kept rolling that same ankle, and it was the same spots that had twisted and had hurt for just a few seconds. Well, let me tell you, my body, by the 3rd or 4th time, couldn't take it anymore. And I was in immense pain, and got off that bit of trail, and that night it was so bad I couldn't move it. Couldn't put weight on it, couldn't move it, swollen up, red, and it just kept getting worse and worse. At night, I couldn't even get up to go to the restroom. It was pretty bad, and I thought I was down for the count. And I thought, you know, there's just no way I'm going to be able to finish the AT. I sprained an ankle. It's going to take 4 to 6 weeks. Well, somehow, miraculously, and I have no idea how, because it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. The next morning, all of a sudden, I could put a little weight on it. By that afternoon, I could put even more weight on it. By that night, I was probably like back to 80%. The next morning, like 90, 95%. And here I am, walking around with no pain right now at all. But I'm being a little cautious on the rocks. That's what I wanted to say. You want to make sure, or I want to make sure that when I'm on these rocks that I'm not overextending that. For some reason, my body healed that small sprain or whatever it was. I mean, I know it was a sprain because I could still feel it now. It's just I don't have pain. I could just feel it, the tightness of it and everything. So I need to be really careful because I definitely don't want to push the envelope with the blessing that came by that being healed so quickly. So when I see these rocks, I love them. I love the way they look. I love the challenge of going up and down them. But y'all also want to be very careful when you've been given a second chance with an injury to not push it too much to where you hurt yourself even more. All right, well, I'm going to put the phone down and I'm going to do the climbing here. And right now, apparently climbing down on these beautiful rocks around this pond and then start climbing up that first summit. Here I am on the summit of Raccoon Ridge, also known as Kittatinny Mountain. And nice 360 views. Welcome to New Jersey. And a shout out to my little buddy Wayne. Wayne, I told you I'm going to be on the mountains today. And I can't be there for your birthday party, but I think you're turning 5, maybe 21, I don't know. But happy birthday, Wayne. I wish I was there with you, buddy. But I'm here in the mountains giving you a shout out. And Raccoon Ridge and Kittatinny Mountain is in the bag. Really cool view up here on this ridge line. Down there of a reservoir and a couple other water inlets or outlets. The haze in the background is still from the smoke coming down from Canada and the wildfires up there. Another cool view from another rock cropping or cliff. Kind of shows a different angle all the way over here to this peak. So about 10 miles into New Jersey right now. So far it's been rather nice. A couple of nice ridges and a nice little summit with a 360 view. It's pretty dry though. So see if that gets a little better. It's not completely dry, but the water that I have seen has been very low. So It's only about 70 miles through New Jersey section, and then I'll be in New York. So see if it's like that for the whole time. I don't know. I've kind of heard the same thing about New York. Come summer, that it can be pretty dry. So we'll see. I always prepare for that. Hiking through 700 miles of desert on the PCT will definitely get you prepared to always be watching for water. But it's been pretty pleasant today. Warm, but under the shade a lot, so that helps. But at the same time, there's not too much of a breeze. Every once in a while a breeze comes through and that feels great, but otherwise it's yeah, pretty warm and heavy, so to speak. So yeah, that's pretty much it. About 2,000 of elevation so far today. Nothing too strenuous at this point. Some rocks, but it's not all rocks, so a little bit of rocks and then no rocks, so it's all good. Last night, as I stayed in Delaware Water Gap, I couldn't sleep. Went to bed early. Couldn't sleep. Or I slept a little bit, but then woke up and couldn't sleep. And it was still early. So there's a little jazz club that was right next to the hostel, right there in downtown. If you want to call it downtown, there's like 4 buildings. But it's supposed to be, I think it's the oldest jazz club that's been in one spot that hasn't built new buildings or whatnot. So I'm not really sure. If you ask me, the wording of that is probably a play to make it sound like it's been there longer than it has. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Because I know there's a lot of jazz clubs that's really old, like New Orleans and Chicago and such. But it was rather pleasant. I showed you a couple clips earlier in this video. I only heard about 4 songs, but 2 of them were just off the chain. And those are the 2 I put on there. Just very moving, very emotional. Great singer, great little bass player. I don't know why I just had a little bass player. Great bass player, great piano player, and the drummer just felt what everybody else was doing and played along with that. So, but I wanted to bring up something she had said at one point to explain to people who might not know what jazz is. I know what jazz is. For those of you who don't know, that's my background. It's music and touring and all that stuff that I don't really talk about much anymore. But every once in a while, I like to take in some nice jazz or something like that. And it's really felt good to the soul. But she had mentioned in explaining what jazz is, that jazz is basically a map. And that map is going from point A to point B. And everything you do in between on how you get there is up to you. There is no, it has to be played this way, it has to have these notes for note going along. It is your rendition of a particular piece and making it your own, which I am all for on the albums I've recorded and the songs I write. And you know, I rarely play a cover, but when I do play a cover, that's how I play it. I play it my way. Same thing, roadmap. But I thought it was a perfect analogy of how I hike the Appalachian Trail, or the PCT, or any through hike for that matter. There's a point A and a point B. How you get there is up to you. Yes, there is a trail you're supposed to go along, but some people are purists and they want to do every step for step. As you all know that have been watching me for a while, I bank a lot of miles because I do a lot of side trips for summiting, because summiting the top of mountains is very symbolic and spiritual for me in overcoming all the things we overcome in life. And there's been a lot of things that I've had to overcome in life. So it's very important for me to climb those summits and to stand on top of them and put them in the bag. And it's almost as important to me to touch those summits as it is to be on the Appalachian Trail. It's all part of my journey, all part of my jazz song, so to speak. And I'm glad you guys get to listen to that jazz song and get to be part of that jazz song. But at the end of the day, it's my jazz song. So why am I saying this? Because it spoke to me. I needed to hear that because I'm human. And sometimes I could get caught up with people's opinions and so forth. I've had 20 people, which is not that much, but 20 people drop off of my YouTube subscription during the time that I took a break. Apparently, they're soft. Or they're quitters. I don't know. They give up too easy. It was a break.
And things had to be determined on whether I was coming back this year or coming back next year to do the Appalachian Trail, which everything in me wanted to finish it this year. But there were certain circumstances where I might not have been able to. And that's what, it took a little while to decide that and let some things heal in my body that have nothing to do with the trail. It has to do with sicknesses in my body, which is nobody's business unless I want to share that. I appreciate everybody who cares and everybody who is there and supports me. That means a lot, because in today's world, not everybody really does support, or if they do, it's in an ingenuine way. So when people really support and really, stand behind you and cheer you on, it's a great feeling. But at the end of the day, it's my jazz song. It's my point A to B journey, and I love having you all along. I love having you all here, but I'm human, and at the end of the day, that kind of bugged me a little bit. Like, why would people drop off just because I'm off the trail for a couple weeks? Why would people, say what they want to say? I'll just put it in a nutshell. People put their nose in business where it doesn't belong. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the jazz song. Don't tell somebody how to play the jazz song. Does that make sense? Anyway, I thought that was a really cool analogy that she gave for that. And I definitely needed to hear it, because at the end of the day, this is my jazz song. This is my piece, my masterpiece, my journey, however you want to say it. And I have to do this for me. And people are offended the way I do it. Like, oh my goodness, you didn't touch that inch of a trail, or you didn't touch that mile. Well, I'm doing a lot more than the miles on the AT with all the side trails and summits that I do. So I'm completely happy with it. And if you're not, well, you'll get over it. Hopefully you'll stick around and follow me on this trail, because I like to show you everything that I'm seeing. I like to act like you're right here with me and on this journey with me, even though my journey is much different than anybody else's journey, because it's my journey. So just wanted to take those few moments and share that with you, what she said, and really good piece of information. And remember that in your own life. It's your journey. It's your epic journey that you are going to be able to own at the end of that journey, saying that it was what you wanted to do, not what you were supposed to do, but what you wanted to do. All right, let's continue on. Peace out. Really good views here on this ridge. These cliffs, I should say, on the ridge. Looking down into the valley. Gorgeous. Sun shining through right now. So you get even better and clearer views of that valley down there with the hazy hills and the mountains in the background. Gorgeous. Here is the Catfish Fire Tower, which is a very tall tower. You know, a lot of these towers down in the south, like North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, even Virginia, are on the summit of mountains, so they only have like 3 or 4 flights of stairs. This one, I just counted as 9 flights of stairs up there, so they could get a good view in every direction. I have a little picnic table down here to eat at. I'm not sure if that's for the hikers or for the gentleman or lady who mans or womans the tower to look out. But it's there if somebody wants to eat, I guess. But there's a couple really cool views over here. Yeah, that's a tall one. And it's closed to the public. I've heard that if the volunteer or firefighter is up there, or whoever mans the tower, that if they're here, sometimes they let people up there. So I would have definitely went up if I could have, but since nobody's there right now, it's closed to the public. I'm not going to climb up there. It's not at the summit. If it was at a summit, I might climb up anyway. But that's some really cool views over here. All right, continuing on. This is Rattlesnake Spring, and that is one very slow trickle of water. I'll be here for a minute.